Hello everyone. So today's video is about magnetic effect of electricity, that is part 4. I have already made 3 videos. So please watch those videos. It will be easier for you to understand this topic. So today's content will be studying for electromagnetic induction, how a current is induced with a straight wire with horseshoe magnet setup and coil and a bar magnet setup. Then we will be going for Fleming's right hand rule. Then what is the difference between AC and DC current, and at last we will be studying the principles and working of AC generator. So before I start, let us ask a question. What is induction? What is induction? So suppose I am placing a wire AB in a magnet or in a magnetic field, then there is no effect. That means there is no change. The wire will be constant. So if I am placing it at a constant, I am not doing any activity. So the current flow is 0. If I am moving this wire from left to right or right to left, if I am moving this wire, then a current is induced in this wire. A current I is induced in this wire. So this current induced is known as electromagnetic induction. Why? Because the current is due to this presence of magnetic field. This property is known as electromagnetic induction. So let us see how a electromagnetic induction happens with a straight wire and a horseshoe magnet. Suppose this is a horseshoe magnet. This is a horseshoe magnet and there is a wire passing through it, north and south. Why I am taking a horseshoe magnet? Horseshoe magnet is comparatively stronger compared to a bar magnet. Why? Because the north and south ends of this magnet are close to each other. The air gap is very less. That is why the horseshoe magnet is comparatively stronger. So if I am moving this wire I am connecting to a galvanometer. There will be a deflection pin. So if I am moving this wire back and forth, then there will be a current induced in this circuit or in this wire. It will be detected by the device known as galvanometer. So what is a galvanometer? It detects any induction of the current or any induced current it will detect. So this device is known as galvanometer. It will just deflect. So in general, if you see a galvanometer, pin is at center always. Okay. So if I am moving it to the left, it will deflect here. If I am moving to the right, it will deflect in the opposite directions because the current flow direction it changes. Then you will ask me, we have another device known as ammeter. Then what is the difference between ammeter and galvanometer? Ammeter doesn't give you the direction of current. Ammeter give you the measurement of current. 1 ampere current is flowing, 2 ampere, 5 ampere. This measurement is done by ammeter. But in galvanometer, if there is a small amount of current or very minute current is flowing, this will be detected by this device known as galvanometer. This galvanometer will detect the direction of flow of current as well. Like if it is a positive current or a negative current, it will detect. Sorry, a negative current or a positive current, how it is connected. Suppose it is going this way, it's a positive current. Going back, it's a negative current. So now you understood how a current is induced in a magnetic field and it is known as electromagnetic induction. This is a horseshoe type magnet with a wire, straight wire. This wire A and B. Now we will be going for the second one, that is a setup known as with coil and a bar magnet. Suppose there is a coil. I am taking a coil, that means number of turns of that wire is known as coil. This is a coil. So the coil has some space. Suppose this is the width of the coil. So the coil has some air gap or space. I am introducing a bar magnet here. I am inserting a bar magnet of north and south pole. So in our first case, what was there? The magnet was static and the wire was moving. Here in this second case, the magnet is moving, but the coil is static. Then what will happen? Here, the magnetic field changes from this coil to this coil. This coil has no magnetic force. So, current induced is 0 here. When it is moving here to till this side, then there is some magnetic force applied to this one, or magnetic field it comes within. Then there will be an induction of current. This induction is known as electromagnetic induction. Similarly, we can see if I am moving this magnet backward, the current direction flow will be different, totally opposite. If I am moving to the forward direction, it will be in this direction. So with this theory, we are using our generators in practical purposes. So what happens? We have powerhouses, right? We have powerhouses or hydroelectric power plant. What happens there? There, water flows. The water's energy is converted to electrical energy. How? Suppose this is a dam. This is a reservoir or dam. So what happens? Water flows here. This water, there is potential energy. Potential energy is stored in this water. This potential energy converted to kinetic energy. Then there is a shaft here or turbine. This is a turbine. It is connected to this shaft, and ultimately it's a generator. So when this turbine moves, ultimately this shaft also moves. Inside what happens? Inside there is a coil, or we can tell this is a magnet. There are two types of construction. This is a magnet, the coil is fixed here. Then it is going for electricity grid, whatever it is. Now the coil is fixed here, the magnet moves. So when there is a movement in the magnet, electromagnetic current is induced in this coil. So it will generate electricity. Similarly, there is a second construction how some cases the magnet is fixed. Now the coil is moving. So this gives also electricity. So we will be studying this one in our studies. AC generator is this one we will be studying. How a magnet is fixed and the coil is moving. Now guys, having understood this, we should now be knowing that how electricity is generated from the water or in hydroelectric power plants. କଣ ଆଣିବି କୁହ? ପୁରା ଓଦା ହେଇଗଲ, ଗାମୁଛା ଆଣିବି? ଘରକୁ ପଳା। So now we will be going for Fleming's right hand rule. So what is Fleming's right hand rule? Fleming's right hand rule says if we take our three fingers in the right hand and make it mutually perpendicular to each other, then our thumb will be the direction of motion and this one will be the first finger or the forefinger will be the direction of magnetic field, then the induced current will be the direction of this middle finger. Now let us see, this is what Fleming's left and right hand rule says. Okay, this is force or motion. This is the direction of magnetic field. Then this is induced current. Similar case we have seen in Fleming's left hand rule also. See what does Fleming's left hand rule says? Fleming's left hand rule is this one. This one is motion. This one is magnetic field. And this is current, or I can say this way. This is current. This is magnetic field. So what is the difference between left hand and right hand rule? You might not be getting this kind of differences in any books or anywhere. So let me tell you, it will be easier for you to understand. See, Fleming's left hand rule and right hand rule uses same fingers. Same fingers in both hands. Same fingers we are using. See, same fingers I am using in both hands. And the notation is also same. See, this side is Fleming's right hand rule is used for generator, while left hand rule is used for motors. So what is the difference here? See, the motion and force is same. In generator we are giving motion. We are giving motion. We are putting some motion into that coil. Magnetic field is same. By the same figure, magnetic field is also there. Now, current is induced in a generator, whereas in left hand rule, in a motor, we are giving current. Magnetic field is constant. Here the motion is induced. So this is the difference between left hand rule and right hand rule. It will be easier for you to understand. All the fingers are same, only the hands are different. All the notations are also same in the fingers. Now we understood what is Fleming's right hand rule. Now let us see what is a DC current and a AC current and what is the difference. DC current is known as direct current. DC is direct current. AC is alternating current. Now, direct current means if I draw a graph, voltage versus time, V versus Vt graph, then the voltage is constant. But for AC current, if I draw a graph, same graph, V versus T, then there is a difference. What is the difference? Or I can draw like this. I can draw like this. Okay, this graph looks like a sine wave. Then this is V minus V, this is T. This axis is T. So what is the difference? First you look, the voltage goes to its peak. Okay, goes to its peak. Suppose this is 2 volt. Then again it reduces and it achieves its bottom, that is minus 2 volt. Again it is going to its peak. Here if it is a 2 voltage, then the 2 volt is constant through. Whenever the time passes, right, the T increases, but the voltage is a straight line. It is constant. So the difference is alternating current changes its direction. That means if this is the wire, right, see, how can I explain this? If suppose I am taking a power supply V, this is a AC supply, suppose this is a AC voltage. So what will happen? Current will flow. After some time the current will reverse its direction. Current will flow this way. Again it will flow this way. Again it will flow this way. So AC current reverses its direction with a constant time. That means in 1 second, in AC current, the direction change is denoted by Hertz because it's a wave like property it has. So this is known as Hertz. So if you have seen in any of the practical electrical appliances, it has been mentioned as 50 Hertz. So what does it 50 Hertz mention? So what does this 50 Hertz denote? 50 Hertz says us that it reverses its direction every 50 times. So 1 by T frequency, see, frequency is known as 1 by T. Our frequency is given as 50 Hertz. That means 50 times. See, if I am taking T, that means 1 by 50. Time is 1 by 50. So in 1 second, 50 times the current reverses the direction. In 1 second, suppose this is 1 second, 50 times it reverses the direction. That is known as AC current. It might not be in your course. Just for your understanding, I am telling you all the details. So we know that 50 Hertz is the frequency of Indian electric supply that we are getting for our electricity board. So we know what is the difference between AC and DC. So where we are using this AC and DC? AC, suppose I am traveling, I am transferring a current, right? Suppose I am using a wire, a long wire I am using. Suppose I am using 5 volt power supply. Suppose I am here. After 2 kilometer, I will be getting this 5 voltage. This is my expectation that I will be switching on the circuit here. I will be switching on, or I will be giving 5 volt supply here. After 5 kilometer or 2 kilometer, I am expecting that same 5 voltage I will be getting. This is wrong. I won't get. Why? We have already studied that whenever a current flows, right, there is some resistance. So this current won't be same here. This 5 voltage won't be same here. It would reduce to 1 volt or 2 volt. So this resistance or drop in potential difference is due to this wires property or the wires material having some resistance and some other property in environmental properties. So now it is a difficulty for us to transfer because we are in our house, the grid is located somewhere 200 or 300 kilometers. So for that purpose, AC current is used. We are doing the transfer via AC current. So AC current never loses this property. And AC current they are transferring in 11,000 volts, 11 kV. So you might have noticed that the transformers near your house, they have a rating of 11 kV minimum. It might be 22 kV. So what makes this for a higher voltage need? We need this higher voltage that even if it transfers some 200 or 300 kilometer, AC current also loses. So we'll get at least 3000 volt or 4000 volt, but in our house appliances we need 220 volt. So we are using a transformer to downgrade this volt and use that volt. So this is the uses of AC current. Why we are using AC current? Now you'll ask me where DC currents are used. DC currents are used for minimal voltage uses like till 12 volt or 24 volt up to 48 volt we are using. Like if you want to store a DC volt, we can store it. We cannot store a AC volt. AC current we cannot store. DC current we can store. So you might have seen batteries, right? They are rated as 12 volt, 6 volt, 4 volt. Even there are so many voltage rating for batteries. Small batteries are 1.5 volt. So these are handy to carry. So small devices using these batteries are operating with DC current. Similarly, if you see a car alternator, in car we have a small generator attached to the car motor or car's engine. That alternator is a AC. But after it converts, after we get the AC from car's alternator, we are converting with a rectifier, we are converting it to DC. That DC recharges the car's battery and we are using our horn, lights, all those we are using in DC. So this is the use of DC and we know what is the difference and uses of AC and DC. So our next topic will be what is AC generator. So guys, before we start for AC generator, let me tell you something. If you like the content till here, please like my video, please subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon. Whenever I am uploading any new video on this content or any other content, you will be getting the notification at the same instant. And moreover, please share with everybody so that they can also get benefit from my video. And please go to my channel Elemental Education in YouTube, search for the playlist. I have uploaded videos for electricity chapter as well, and for this chapter magnetic effects of electricity there are 3 more videos. Please watch those videos. However, I will be giving you the link in the description of this video. So guys, now let's start for what is AC generator. We already know what is an alternating current or AC. So now we will be studying how a AC current is generated, or the device which generates the AC current. So this is our setup. I have already told you in our DC motor how to write in the examination, introduction, diagram, then we will be going for the construction, then the working and conclusion. Please follow the same here in this AC generator as well. So this is our setup. This is a permanent magnet of north and south pole, and there is a single coil. For our demonstration purpose, we have taken a coil ABCD, that is a single coil. This is known as slip rings. These are not split rings, these are known as slip rings. Now these are carbon bushes. This is also a carbon bush that helps in the contact with this wire and slip rings. So first to understand what is the purpose of this slip ring. Whenever we know that our coil will move, we are giving some external force. This is the axis of our coil. So we are giving some external force here. Suppose this is a external force, or there is a handle or something, we are moving this coil. So whenever our coil is moving, this slip ring in contact with this bush, suppose this is our slip ring, it will also move. Even if the coil moves 360 degree, it won't detach the contact between this carbon bush and slip ring. So how it operates? We are giving a mechanical force. When we are giving a mechanical force or a rotary force, then first you see we are giving this force in this is the magnetic field. This is the magnetic field from north to south. North to south is the magnetic field. So, and the motion is in the downward direction. We are moving this way. We are moving this way. So from your side, if you view, it will be in anti-clockwise direction. So I am moving this in a anti-clockwise direction. So this coil will be, this coil AB part will be going down. This is the direction of motion. Now how will be the current induced? We know when there is, this is a magnetic field, right? If something, the coil is moving downwards, then there will be some current induced in it. So the current induced in this direction. Current will be in this direction from B to A. From B to A. According to Fleming's right hand rule, this is the direction of induced current. Similarly, the same if you see from C to D, how the current induced will be? The magnetic field is from here to here. The motion is in the upward direction. Then the current induced will be from D to C. The current induced will be D to C. The current induced here will be from B to A. So it's totally opposite. So once it flips it, once the coil flips, right? Once the coil flips, unlike the DC motor, it won't change the contact. The slip rings will be same. So the wire, it won't change the polarity. So what will happen here? Here the current flow will change. The direction of current flowing in the coil will change. See, this will come to this side, this will come to this side. AB will come to here. That is B dash A dash. Now it is C dash D dash. Now suppose it flips, then the current induced will be similar fashion. What did happen in the previous one? So the current induced will be in the similar fashion how it happened in the first part. So now when it flips, the current induced will be in the same way. That means the coil C and D will flow the current. The direction of flow of current will be similar to the current in AB in the earlier part. So it is same. So always the current induced will be same. Only the coil changes the direction. So this way, one time it will flow this way, another time it will flow other way, another time it will flow other way. So that means the current is not constant. With time it is changing its direction. That is why it is known as AC generator. This current is been generated by this generator, so this is known as AC generator. So it might have some frequency. How many times it is rotating, right? Same time it will change the direction. If it is in 1 second, I am rotating 50 times. That means if I am rotating 50 times, full rotation, how many times it will change the direction? It will change the direction 100 times. 15 to 2, right? It will 2 times, it is changing in one half rotation, it is changing 1 time. So one full rotation it is changing 2 times. So 15 to 2 is 100 times. So what is the frequency? 100 times it is changing direction. So 100 Hertz. Now this is the end of our video. I hope you would have understand how the AC generator works, where it is being used. AC generator we are using in our hydroelectric power plants and even in our generators, right? In our home we are using power generator during the electric cutoff. So that time also those are AC generator. Those are not DC generators. Those are AC generator. In our car also we are using alternators, right? Those alternators are known as AC generators. So guys, please watch my video part 1, 2, 3 and this is part 4. There is one more part I will be making on this chapter. Please watch it carefully and unlimited times until you understand the topic. I hope you like this video. Please do give a like. Thank you all for today. Thanks and bye-bye.